Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Rupavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 20th. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Sanatana Goswami in the science of the absolute truth. Text 251 onwards. Vishnustu trini rupani purushakhyani atho vidu ekam tu mahata shrishtir dvitiyam tva anda samstitam tritiyam sarva bhutastham tani gyatva vimuchyate. Vishnu has three forms called Purushas. The first, Mahavishnu, is the creator of the total material energy, Mahat. The second is Garbhodakshai Vishnu or Garbhodashai Vishnu, who is situated within each universe. And the third is Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who lives in the heart of every living being. He who knows these three becomes liberated from the clutches of Maya. So this verse appears in Laghu Bhagavatamrita, where it has been quoted from Satvat Tantra. Ananta Shakti Madhya Krishna Ritina Shakti Pradhan Ichha Shakti Jnana Shakti Kriya Shakti Naham. Krishna has unlimited potencies, out of which three are chief: willpower, the power of knowledge, and the creative energy. Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Ichha Shakti Pradhan Krishna, Ichha is Sarva Karta. Jnana Shakti Pradhan Vasudev Adhisthata. The predominator of the willing potency is Lord Krishna, for by his supreme will, everything comes into existence. Supreme will, he just desires. It doesn't, many times people joke about the creation. Oh, did the Lord sit down and with the chisel and hammer and created the whole thing? No, it doesn't have to. By his will only, everything comes into existence. He has so much of energies, and they are ready, they're all personified, they're ready to serve him in every way possible, understanding his desire. He doesn't even have to tell them what to do. That is God. In willing, there is a need for knowledge, and that knowledge is expressed through Vasudeva. Ichha Jnana Kriya Vina Naha Isrijana Tinera Tina Shakti Meli Prapancha Rachahan. There is no possibility of creation without thinking, feeling, willing, knowledge, and activity. The combination of the supreme will, knowledge, and action brings about the cosmic manifestation. Kriya Shakti Pradhan Sankarshan Balram Para Krita Krita Srishti Karena Nirman. Lord Shankarshan is Lord Balram, being the predominator of the creative energy. He creates both the material and the spiritual world. Well, now the question is, creates the spiritual world, but spiritual world is eternal. So this sounds like there was a time when there was no spiritual world. Spiritual world is nitya, eternal. The material world comes, manifests and unmanifests, but not the spiritual world. Let's see what it says. Ahankare adhisthata krishnere chaya golok vaikuntha srije tit shakti dwaraye. That original Sankarshan, Lord Balram, is a cause of both the material and spiritual creation. He is a predominating deity of egotism, and by the will of Krishna and the power of spiritual energy, he creates a spiritual world which consists of the planet Golok Vrindavan and the Vaikuntha planets. Yadyapi asrijya nitya chit shakti vilas, tathapi sankarshan ichai tahar prakash. Although there is no question of creation as far as the spiritual world is concerned, the spiritual world is nonetheless manifested by the supreme will of Sankarshan. The spiritual abode is the abode of the pastimes of eternal spiritual energy. So here it answers, although there is no need because it's eternal, but it's somehow, it just manifested the way it is by the supreme will of Sankarshan. Sahasrapatram kamalam gokulakyam mahatpatam tad karanikaram tad dham tad ananta ansha sambhavam. Gokul, the supreme abode and planet, appears like a lotus flower that has 1,000 petals. The world of that lotus is the abode of the Supreme Lord Krishna. It means the center of the lotus is the abode of Krishna. This lotus-shaped supreme abode is created by the will of Lord Ananta. So Brahm Samhita speaks about this. And there's so much more details about spiritual world is given in Brahm Samhita. Maya dware srijateno brahmandera gana jada rupa prakriti nahe brahmanda kara. By the agency of the material energy, the same Lord Sankarshan creates all the universes. The dull material energy, known in modern language as nature, is not the cause of material universe. So dull material energy, which we call nature, the scientist and atheist, philosopher, those who don't believe in God and creation by God, they all say, oh, nature did that. No, it's mentioned here. Nature is not the cause. Lord Sankarshan, because this is Lord Sankarshan is Lord Balram himself, so that's their service to Krishna to create both the spiritual and material natures or material universes. Jada haite srishti nahe Ishvara Shakti vine taha tei sankarshan kare shaktira adhani. Without the Supreme Personality of Godhead's energy, dull matter cannot create the cosmic manifestation. Its power does not arise from the material energy itself, but is endowed by Sankarshan. So this is how the energy works, by the power of Sankarshan. Ishwarera Shakti Srishti Kare Prakriti. Loha Yena Agni Shakti Paye Daha Shakti. Dull matter alone cannot create anything. The material energy produces the creation by the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Iron itself has no power to burn, but when iron is placed in fire, it is empowered to burn. So this is how the creation takes place. Eto hi vishwasya cha bija yoni ramo mukunda purusha pradhana anviya bhuteshu vilakshanasya jnanasya cheshat imo purano. Balram and Krishna are the original, efficient and material causes of the material world. As Mahavishnu and the material energy, they enter into the material elements and create the diversities by multi-energies. Thus, they are the cause of all causes. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srishti hetu yai murti prapanche avatare, sei Ishwar murti avatara namandhare. The form of the Lord that descends into the material world to create is called an avatar or incarnation. Mayatita paravyome sabar avasthana vishve avatari dhare avatar naam. All the expansions of Lord Krishna are actually residents of the spiritual world. But when they descend into the material world, they are called incarnations or avatars. Sei Maya Avalokite Sri Shankarshan Purusha Rupe Avatirna Aila Pratham. To glance over the material energy and empower her, Lord Sankarshan first incarnates as Lord Mahavishnu. So, Mahavishnu comes from Lord Sankarshan. Jagrehe Purusham Rupam Bhagwan Mahad Adibhi Sambhutam Shodash Kalam Ado Lokas Sisrikshaya. In the beginning of the creation, the Lord expanded himself in the form of the Purusha incarnation, accompanied by all the ingredients of material creation. First, he created the 16 principal energies suitable for creation. This was for the purpose of manifesting the material universes. So even for creation, so many things has to go on. So he created the 16 principal energies suitable for creation. This is all described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Adyo avatara purusha parasya kala svabhava sadasan manascha dravyam vikaro gun indriyan virata swarata sthashanu charishnu bhumna. Karanadakshay Vishnu or Mahavishnu is the first incarnation of the Supreme Lord. First incarnation in the sense for material creation. And he is a master of eternal time, space, cause and effects. The mind, the elements, the material ego, the modes of nature, the senses, the universal form of the Lord, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, and the sum total of all living beings, both moving and non-moving. So they all come from Mahavishnu. Sei Purusha Virajate Karena Shayana Karana Dakshayinam Jagat Karana. That original personality of Godhead named Sankarshan first lies down in the river Viraja, which serves as a border between the material and spiritual world. As Karana Dakshai Vishnu, he is the original cause of the material creation. So Karana Dakshai or Karana Abadi Shai. Shai means lies down, and Karan is a Karan Sagar. So he lies down in the Karan Sagar. So that is also to indicate that Lord himself doesn't have to do it. He is lying down and is in Yoga Nidra, and all the creation is happening. But still, nothing is out of his control. Can we imagine? We lie down, we sleep, we just forget who we are. And nothing happens when we are sleeping. But not here. Karana abdi pare mayara nitya avasthiti virajar pare paravyome nahi gati. The Viraja or causal ocean is a border between the spiritual and material world. The material energy is situated on one shore of that ocean and it cannot enter onto the other shore, which is the spiritual sky. So it cannot, material energy is not allowed. Pravartate yatra rajastamastayo sattvam cha mishram na cha kala vikrama na yatra maya kim muta pare harer anuvrita yatra sura sur archita. In the spiritual world, there is neither the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance, nor a mixture of both, nor is there adulterated goodness, the influence of time or Maya herself. Only the pure devotees of the Lord, who are worshipped both by demigods and by demons, reside in the spiritual world as the Lord's associates. So worshipped both by demigods and by demons. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, was spoken by Srila Shukdev Goswami. He was answering the questions of Parikshit Maharaj, who asked how the living entity falls down into the material world. Shukdev Goswami explained the cream of Srimad Bhagavatam in 4 verses, which had been explained to Lord Brahma at the end of the severe austerities he performed for 1,000 celestial years. At that time, Brahma was shown the spiritual world and its transcendental nature. Mayara ye dui vritti maya ara pradhan. Maya nimitta hetu vishvera upadan pradhan. Maya has two functions. One is called Maya and the other is called Pradhan. Maya refers to the efficient cause, and Pradhan refers to the ingredients that create the cosmic manifestation. So, Mahatattva is when all the ingredients are manifested, and Pradhan when they are unmanifested. Sei Purusha Maya Pane Kare Avadhan, Prakriti Kshobita Kare Vidyera Adha. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead glances over the material energy, she becomes agitated. At that time, the Lord injects the original semen of the living entities. So, originally, the conditioned souls who are in the body of the Lord at the time of previous dissolution, they come when the Lord glances over the material energy. Means glances over the material universes. So all these living entities, they come from Mahavishnu's body and enter the material universe. And Brahmaji has created all the 8,400,000 species and all the planetary systems. So every living entity then gets a chance to go to, according to their desire and karma, consciousness when they left the body. So they get a chance to go into different species on different planets in different families and start all over. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam. I am the original seed of all existences. This is also confirmed in another verse in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. So we don't just come from nature or from void. No, come from Mahavishnu or Krishna. Krishna says Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. For a further explanation, one may refer to Brahma Samhita. Agniramahi gaganam ambo marudda deshascha kalas tathatam manasititi jagatrayani yasmad bhavanti vibhavanti vishanti yamacha govindam adi purusham tamaham bhaja. All material elements, as well as the spiritual sparks or individual souls, are emanating from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is confirmed by the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadi Yasya Yata. The absolute truth is He from whom everything emanates. He is the supreme truth. Satyam Param Dhimahi. The absolute ultimate truth is Krishna. The absolute truth is a person who is directly and indirectly cognizant of the entire cosmic manifestation. The absolute truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, educated Lord Brahma from the heart. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaya. Therefore, the absolute truth cannot be dull matter. So, absolute truth, which is the source of everything, it cannot be dull matter because he gave the knowledge to Brahmaji. The absolute truth must be the Supreme Person himself. Sai Purusha Maya Pane Kare Avadhan. Simply by his glance, material nature is impregnated with all living entities. According to their karma and fruitive activity, they emerge in different bodies. That is explanation given by Bhagavad Gita. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Swanga Visheshabhasa Rupe Prakriti Sparsham Jiva Rupa Bijatate Kaila Samarpan. To impregnate with the seeds of the living entities, the Lord Himself does not directly touch the material energy, but by His specific functional expansion, He touches the material energy. And thus the living entities, who are his parts and parcels, are impregnated into material nature. So you see the word, a specific functional expansion. So what is that? Let's see. According to Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Mamaivansho Jiva Loke, the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. In the present verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the word Prakriti Sparshan refers to Lord's glancing over material nature and placing the living entities in contact with dull matter. The glancing is performed by Mahavishnu. In the conditioned state, we impregnate according to bodily conception, that is by sexual intercourse. But the Supreme Lord does not need sexual intercourse to impregnate. The impregnation is done simply by his glance. This is also explained in Brahma Samhita. Govinda can impregnate simply by glancing. In other words, his eyes can work as his genitals. He does not need genitals to beget a child. Indeed, Krishna can beget any one of the living entities with any part of his body. Now, what is that glance? The word Swanga Visheshabhasa Rupe, indicating the form by which the Lord begets living entities in the material world, is explained herein. He is Lord Shiva. So the glance of the Lord, which impregnates the material world. I mean, the glance means all the living entities are coming from the body of Mahavishnu to material universe by his glance or through his glance, and that glance is Lord Shiva, or in fact, Sadashiv actually. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Lord Shiva, who is another form of Mahavishnu, is like yogurt. Yogurt is nothing but milk, yet it is not milk. Similarly, Lord Shiva is considered the father of this universe, and the material nature is considered the mother. The father and mother are known as Lord Shiva and Goddess Durga. Together, Lord Shiva's genitals and the vagina of Lord Goddess Durga are worshipped as Shivlinga. So, this is Shivlingam. People give their different opinion, that is whatever. But this is what Shivlingam is. This is the origin of the material creation. So, Lord Shiva is not first in impregnating Mother Nature or Mother Durga, just like we impregnate. No, he is bringing the living entities into the material world. It's just lingam and yoni is considered organs for reproduction. So that's why they worshipped as Shivalingam. This is the origin of material creation. Thus, Lord Shiva's position is between that of the living entity and that of the Supreme Lord. In other words, Lord Shiva is neither the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not a Jiva Tattva or a living entity. He is the form through which the Supreme Lord works to beget living entities within this material world. As yogurt is prepared when milk is mixed with the culture, the form of Lord Shiva expands when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in touch with material nature. The impregnation of material nature by the Father, Lord Shiva, is wonderful because at one time, innumerable living entities are conceived. Innumerable. Bhago jiva savigya sa chahanantaye kalpate. These living entities are very, very small. If we divide the tip of a hair into 100 parts and then take one of these parts and divide it again into 100 parts, that very fine division is the size of but one of the numberless living entities. They all chittakarn, means particles of spirit, not matter. So the innumerable Brahmans or universes come from the pores of the Lord, and innumerable living entities also come from the pores of the transcendental body of the Lord. This is the process of material creation. Without the living entities, this material nature has no value. Both emanate from the pores of the transcendental body of Lord Mahavishnu. They are different energies that Krishna has explained in Bhagavad Gita. That the living entity, besides this inferior nature, mighty armed Arjun, there is another superior energy of mind. So all these things are, so inferior energy, matter cannot act without the superior energy. So without the spirit soul, nothing can happen, even if all the 8 elements are there: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. So this is what is explained, and more details will come later on. So I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Brahmaji gives the body to the souls.
Brahmaji what?
Brahmaji body देते हैं souls को.
Brahmaji, yes, he does the creation.
So he allowed the bodies according to their karma or not desire.
No. Original, yes, but then it's duty of Yamarajji.
So Yamraji gives the body to the soul. Okay.
He decides, yeah, what he's going to get.
Okay.
Material energy works, but then Yamarajji decides who will get what.
Okay.
ठीक है, चलो.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna.